This is your favorite campus and community station. MFM 92.6. Move to the music.
It is MFM 92.6. We're vibing to and grooving to music by Nkalakatha. And of course, we have in studio joining us for this conversation this evening, the man behind this jam. Will there ever be another? I don't know. Maybe I must ask the producer. We have the true legend of sound, joining me this evening, truly reflecting and celebrating, of course, his creative legacy, his role and contribution to Kwaito music in South Africa. Gabi Le Roux, thank you so much for joining us, coming to our community and making time for us this evening. Welcome to SiyakhulaLive.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor and humbling experience to spend some time with such an institution of such reputation, also in the context of the new South Africa and how you guys are transforming. So it's wonderful for me to be able to join this environment. Thank you for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to just share a little bit of time with you. It's much appreciated.
Right back at you, truly humbled. And I think that what you have to give to us will probably just be, a portion of what you've done as well and your gifts and what you've shared with the nation. But maybe let's start there. We're celebrating your creative legacy this evening and your contribution to the heritage of South Africa. It is Heritage Month as well, Gabi. And so let me hear from you, what Kwaito has meant for South Africa and the globe.
Look, we have to take Kwaito also in the context of the timing of when that genre became popular in the history. And, it sort of coincided with round about 1994 when we finally became free as a nation. And if I say free, I say that in inverted commas because it was only political emancipation. We are still working and advocating for economic emancipation of all our citizens. But the mood of that time was so celebratory. It was such a wonderful, it's kind of the birth of the Rainbow Nation, which, as we all know, subsequently it's been fragmented and things have happened. But at that particular time, Kwaito was kind of an expression of the people, and particularly with the song that you've just played, Mandoza and I, we were just in the right place at the right time with the right creative ideas in our head.
Listen.
And it just, from the moment they played it on one of the popular white stations, when it crossed over to the white listeners as well, it became kind of a bonding agent that brought the fragmented portions of our community together as one. And in that celebratory mode. And we had such high expectations, didn't we?
Right. I mean, let's go to that moment. Gabi, it is January, the year 2000. Nkalakatha, by the legend himself, Umandoza, blasts through our radios and the country was never the same again. Could you have foreseen the kind of impact that the song would have when you created it?
Not at all. Look, let me just point out that less than a year before that, we released his first solo album. I mean, you must remember, I produced all of the Chiskop albums. So by that time, we'd already done, I think, 3 Chiskop albums before that. The first one, which had the hit Klaimer, which I'm assuming you're going to play for us tonight.
We are definitely going to play as well. Yeah. No, we've got Uzoyithola Kanjani Uhlele Khoneni. I love that song. I love that song.
So that was the one that put him on the map really as a solo artist in Kasi side, but white people and should I say the other segments of our society didn't pay too much attention to that particular one because it was kind of targeted at Kasi audiences, It was only when the second album came, most white people, if you ask them now, so what was Mandoza's first album, they'll say Nkalakatha because they're not even aware of 925 Zola South, which had Uzoyithola Kanjani Uhlele on it. So it's a very, very interesting experience for me. Looking back now, I must be honest with you. I can only say to you, I'm not a religious man, but I'm very, very spiritual. And I do firmly believe it was divine intervention, that gave Mandoza and I the ability to just make that little bit of a contribution to light the flame of nationhood. And I'm stunned that it's still having the traction that it has now. I'm stunned, and I just feel totally blessed. Of course, the only thing is that there's one component missing, and that is my partner, Ndozin. Mduduzi.
Mduduzi Shabalala Mandos. And he was probably a young guy from Ekasi in the year 2000, or leading up to the making of this hit, a young Mandoza from Ekasi Ezola at the heart of this huge hit. What made him such a prolific talent, a special artist to work with?
When myself and Tim White, who was my partner at the time, Tim was responsible for introducing a lot of house music to South Africa, and he's not a musician, he's a DJ, and I'm a multi-instrumentalist musician. So when Tim and I hooked up, we immediately saw an opportunity to take some of that house sound and bring Pansula into it, and that's what we proceeded to do straight away. Arthur Mafokate at the time was busy. I think he just released Don't Call Me Kafir and tracks like that. So it was in that mode, and we came with kind of a unique sound, because listen, we are white guys. I'm a jazz musician. I grew up on black R&B and fusion music. Most of my icons are black people, both locally and internationally. So it's a strange background. I keep referring to black and white, but people must understand it very much has relevance to the process that we were going through, both politically, socially, socio-economically, and culturally. So. What made him stand out, we saw right from the word go. When we did the first album, Akshesh, which with Chiskop, that was in 1996. We saw that, listen, all of the guys were so talented, but he just had that X factor. And we had the intention of eventually releasing each one of them as a solo artist.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we only ended up with the other one, General. The other two had passed away very, very sadly. So we managed to launch two of them. But Mandoza he just had that X factor, man, that you cannot buy, you cannot learn it, you're born with it. I was just in the fortunate where, as a producer, I could bring the best out of him and just inspire him, to deliver what he delivered. And him, me, I can tell you that. I drew as much inspiration from him as what he drew from me.
Iron sharpens iron, as they say, Gabi. And I mean, you've been part of creating music all across, with artists and art from all across South Africa, music with the likes of Brenda Fassie, or Mamubu Simhlongo, or Ringo Mahlingos, or Mamu Yvonne Chaka Chaka, Lebo Matosa, who we opened the show with as well, Kabelo, Chiskop, you name it, Tembi Siete, Brown Dashi, the list is endless, and these are all acts that have shaped the country's identity and culture as well. And so for me, I'm interested in your partnership and how you as a producer, what's been at the heart of your creative process and success? What is the thing that Gabi Le Roux brings to turn, to make magic, and collaborate with magic?
Look, the answer has multiple facets, and let me just start with the first one. Firstly, you must know I'm an activist. Okay. I'm an activist for anything that is unjust or unequal, whatever. I joined the liberation movement, when I could still be thrown in jail just for thinking that. Back in the years of 1977, I go as far back as that with the movement. So I came to this. I was always a musician. I grew up and I was, I studied music from when I was very, very small. And in my development as a professional musician, my activism was always part of that. So many songs would contain lyrics that also referred to that. Others would just be party songs and let's dance the hell out of this beat,
For sure.
But so that is the one thing that I think I want to make it quite clear. I'm an activist, and I still am for my sins. The other one is that I've always believed that you have to have a unique approach. Yes, reference things in my style of playing keyboards or guitar or bass or whatever instrument I pick up, which I can play all of those, but I would have referenced some standout musicians of proponents of that instrument, but then I would kind of give my own interpretation and fuse that into my own style. And I think that's what made me unique, because I didn't think, hang on, let's make a song like Johnny. Oh, Susie's just got a hit. What is that? Okay, let's try and copy that. Maybe we can also get a hit. Never, ever, ever did I do that. There's been times where I've referenced other people's songs and say, hey, that's a nice groove. Sure, let's just reference that and this one and that one, but let's come up with a groove that's fresh and have some of those elements in it. Not sample it or anything, but just look at what makes those things, what makes hits. I've studied the phenomena of what makes people dance, what makes people jump up and down, and what a good hook line is.
Sure.
So I'd say that those are the two big ones.
And this was certainly it. The next hit that we're going to play as well. Uzoyithola kanjani uhlele khoneni? Tell us about this hit and the making and why it moved us for generations and generations.
Before you play it or after you play it?
Before, maybe as we go into it.
All right. So because then now people will listen. I want to tell you something very interesting about this. A lot of people have said, yes, but that's the Jacksons. Can you feel it? Da, da, da. Da da da, dang 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 dang. No, but Uzoyithola kanjani is not da. It's da 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 da. Big difference. Yeah. So don't accuse me of stealing the Jackson song. It's not true. Listen. It's not da da da. It's da 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 da. Now you can play it.
This song reminds me of my late cousin Itumele. Gabi, you also are the holder, so many memories. When we listen to these songs, they take us so far as well. And I remember, the likes of Chiskop were representing a particular group of young guys in the townships. That was a mode of expression for a lot of our brothers and, our cousins in the townships as well. It was such a language for them. Mashamplan. It was such a language.
All of them. Trompies. They were all around at the same time. They all used to hang out together. It was magnificent.
And creating a culture at the same time.
Yeah. I wish somebody could at the time realize the significance of that and documented a lot of that on film, so that we could have had that as a legacy for next generations to see what actually happened, because it was an amazing period. You know?
And a lot of us are products of that time, and we lived through that time, and I think it runs through this. And I think even a language was created. I think the way that Kasi Lingo, it's so evident in these songs as well. A whole culture was created, and I mean, I'm sure
Marawai,
Fede,
Entlek,
you see,
all of that kind of
and it was a mode of expression for men in the township, young growing men in the township, to find the way to express themselves, and music and Mandoza was right at the heart of pioneering this. A beautiful song here is Uzoyithola kanjani.
You talk about men, I just have to correct you there, because there was a young lady that brought her side Mshoza, the late Mshoza.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you.
Hey, all of us found expression in this. From Kasi to Kasi. This is from the 925 Zola South album. I'm from End of Fire, by the way. So, Zola is just here. But I'm thinking, we're speaking to Gabi Le Roux this evening. The magic, the man with the hands that have created so much magic over the years. And I'm sure there have been so many magical moments for you, Gabi, memorable moments in your lifetime of making music. So maybe I'd like you to share one or two of those magical moments in your musical journey with us.
I think for me, the sensation around Nkalakatha must clearly be the standout, because
sure.
I think not myself or Mandoza, neither of us actually realized what we were creating was going to be so sensational and amongst so many different parts of our community. We knew we had a great song. I mean, that story is is quite general. I mean, it's all over YouTube, where I tell the story where I was sitting inside and I was messing with a sound that I'd created on my one synthesizer, and he was sitting outside scribbling some lyrics, and I just started experimenting with it. Down, da 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 down, da 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 down, da 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 da. And at that stage already, he came running in and said,
"That's the one.
What you playing here? This is big, and I was like, what? He said, okay,
let me climb on top of this.
And I'm telling you, 2.5 hours later, we had pretty much what ended up. I took a few more days after that to add a few of those.
Sure. Oh, I love that sound, by the way. Dang, dang. I love it. I love it. It comes together so beautifully.
But so that moment for me was, I referred to divine intervention earlier. And I think that moment, we were both standing in the presence of the Almighty right there and then. And we didn't even realize it, Then other big moments were for me, to with the likes of, work with legends, the likes of Brenda Fassie, Busim Slongu, meeting these people in person and hugging them and just being acknowledged by them. It was so humbling for me, I mean, also as a white guy, moving in this community that used to be so fragmented and separated, and as an activist, to be brought into the Kasi community and to find a home for me there.
Yeah.
Still now, it gives me goosebumps, to believe that I was blessed to experience that. And so there's not one single moment other than that one that I just told you about, Nkalakatha. And then, of course, other ones, we got Nkalakatha Song of the Year.
Oh, no, that was big. Yeah.
And then the following year, we did Godoba. And the pressure was on because now you've got this mega hit Nkalakatha that broke all records. And now broke all records, excuse the pun. But anyway, so we had to follow it with something really strong.
Yeah.
And then Godoba was nominated, actually along with the song that he did with Ndu, 50-50. And both of these songs became massive hits, So there I was standing in my studio. And I want to tell you something very interesting, and this is an indictment on the record company at the time. And I'm gonna, hey, this must go to Shwashwi, because I'm telling you,
go for it.
If anybody didn't acknowledge me, it was the very record company. They gave me the least acknowledgement. Yes, they gave me awards. It's on the wall there and whatever. But they did not even invite me to the Samas that year. So I was standing in Cape Town in my studio when Godoba was announced again the following year as the Song of the Year. And somebody phoned me. They phoned me from Sunset and said, "Gabs, congratulations, you've got Song of the Year again." And I was standing in studio. I wasn't even at the Summers because I wasn't invited. And I got Song of the Year. So that gives you an indication. I've also had many disappointments, many disappointments. So that was kind of a low point for me. It really hurt me.
Sure, but I think, when there's magic, it is, when it's undeniable, and no one can really truly take the star out of the star, and, I'm thinking of Kwaito as this genre and this gift that keeps on giving, Gabi, the influence of Kwaito now, as we come to know it, on this new sound that has also taken the world by storm, Amapiano, right?
Love Amapiano. The way it went from Kwaito to Durban Kwaito to Kom and then to Amapiano. It was a beautiful process, and I love Amapiano. I even do some Amapiano these days. Look, it's my own version, but I don't know. Maybe somebody likes it. I don't know, but it's a wonderful, and the fact that it's starting to break through international barriers for me. That is such a wonderful breakthrough as a patriotic South African for me to see that happen. It's wonderful.
So I mean, definitely, Amapiano is also carrying this legacy of Kwaito as well. It's carrying it into the future.
In a way, I hear a lot of the Amapiano artists now. Some of them are adopting a little bit of a Kwaito feel in their delivery of the vocals and that. I don't know if you've noticed.
Sure, definitely.
It's almost like they're referring back to that kind of delivery of the lyrics. Of course, the tempos are different now, and the beats are slightly different. But still, they've got strong bass lines. The log bass, strong bass lines. And we relied on bass lines back in the day with smooth pianos and everything over it, and maybe some strings. Now they've still got the strong bass lines, but they've got other percussive elements in it and counter rhythmic elements, which is so beautiful. I love it.
We're chatting to the true legend of sound on the show this evening. It is SiyakhulaLive on MFM 92.6. Listen from wherever you are, www.mfm.co.za. Now, Gabi, I also want to ask you on, this Heritage Month is also inviting us to reimagine heritage as a catalyst for inclusive and technologically innovative future, right? And so what is your take on the role of technology and AI and how it plays now and into the future of both how we know music and music production and visual production as well?
I'm sorry you didn't, I didn't realize you were going to ask me this question before the show. But firstly, I must tell you that personally, I have always, right from when I was a young musician, absolutely embraced technology.
Sure.
So when music sequences came in, I was one of the first guys in South Africa to buy a music sampler. Keyboard was called a Roland S10. It had little discs, and I sampled. And, I sampled, I don't know, birds and industrial noises, and we made songs with that. So I've been doing this all along. So of course, in terms of also sequencing music, using Logic and using Cubase, Steinberg Cubase. I use Cubase still now. Just to record what I play live, and then also to do some programming. And I love AI. I've been very, very actively working with AI. And I'm sorry you didn't tell me that this question was going to come up or in this form, because I also do. I've just released the second single of a song that I did completely in studio, where I sing it and everything, but then I create from scratch an AI character that performs the song. So in other words, yes, I design him from his eyes to his ears to his hair to his nose to his lips to his whatever, and then I animate him, and he then sings the song, but it's actually me. So I'm going to send you those two links, because we can have another conversation on that sometime.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure you're going to be astounded, because I don't want people to be confused that I'm making AI music. No, I'm not. I play every single instrument in studio. I sing, I write all the lyrics, and I sing everything. But then I create the character, because, look at me. What am I going to now be an artist again? No, I'm not. Those
you are
days
creative. I think you use all the resources.
So I'm just using AI to be able to express what I'm creating in studio. So I hope that answers your question.
And I'm sure
I'm
sure lots of people are following suit as well, and embracing it and leveraging it, and see what we can create as well in this creative industry, which is so amazing. And that's the point of reimagining music, reimagining.
But there is an alarming point. There's this issue that anybody now who don't know where middle C is on the piano, incidentally, it's over there somewhere, okay? It's over there. So they now get AI to write songs for them, and then they actually put those songs out on the market, and they give themselves, and they make like they're the artist, and it's not their work at all. AI is trained on the basis of other people's creativity. So you have to use AI as a tool, but you cannot claim AI to be a creative entity. It's not. It doesn't create. It reconfigures the creation of humans, past, present, and also in future. So I use AI as a tool to enhance my own creative expression.
Absolutely. So thank you for that reminder as well. We are a campus community as well, and so AI is always the conversation on how to use it, how to leverage it, but responsibly as well. So students who are listening as well, plug in and also be part of that and listen to that attentively. It's 1:45 of 7 o'clock, 15 minutes to go till I'm out of here. But before I let you go, Gabi, really want to thank you for making time to be part of our community this evening. We've got a full playlist of just everything that has been touched by you so far. So I really want to, just before I leave, invite you this evening to maybe give us your message this Heritage Month.
So heritage for me is something that doesn't only point at the past.
Yes.
Comes with a responsibility to take from heritage, see where we are now. Have we done enough to change what was wrong in the past of what we inherited? Have we done enough? And if we haven't, then let's be honest about it. Look ourselves in the eye and change what we need to change. And we are a long, long way away from an equal society. Everybody's got their aspirations and everybody wants to get somewhere, but everybody's got to have an equal start when they're born into this world. And we're a long way away from that, and we need to change that. We need a long way to go to transformation for equal opportunity for black people versus white people. I'm unashamedly saying that now, and I hope that I don't offend anybody. But the legacy is simple. Apartheid was an artificial advantage to people who were white, and it was an absolute artificial disadvantage to those who were not white. And we still haven't crossed quite that level of inequality yet. Absolutely. And I urge everyone, the young generation, look at our heritage, take from it what's good. Look at leaders in the past, Madiba, etc., many others. Winnie Mandela, and many, many other female leaders and male leaders. And let's take it with us. Let's take stock now and bravely embrace what still needs to be changed to become a truly fair society.
And I want to also invite, if we would invite our listeners this evening to take just one leaf of your rule book, or just kind of the life that you've lived and how you've created, how you've crossed, over into different areas of making music, of being social, of socializing. What is that page that we can tear off and as a legacy in tribute from Gabi Le Roux, apart from the music which you'll have for a lifetime, and that will probably always resonate with us, but maybe young people as well, just how your process has been, how you've created over the years, what can we take for ourselves in going forward?
In terms of being a creative professional, work. Have a work ethic. You can't expect to party till 3-4 in the morning and be out of it on whatever you're getting out of it on, and then having a decent work ethic. Over a period of time, you will not, and it will jade you. A profession, our profession is like any other profession. Sure, party when the time comes.
Yeah.
But have a routine, have a daily work ethic where you spend time on sharpening your skills, learning your theory, learning your practice, sharpening your skills, and learning about the business and how to market yourself in a very, very tough environment as we're going in now. So discipline, work ethic, it's a profession. It's not a job. It's not glamour and chains and bling and whatever. That's the show business part.
Yeah.
But as a professional, like any other, like a professional athlete or a lawyer or a medical doctor or whatever, you still have to do the business. You might have a one-hit wonder with a luck. But you will not sustain a career if you don't put in the hours. That's all I can say.
And for the rest of us, we will remember you through the sounds as well, Gabi. So thank you so much for chatting to us this evening.
Sorry, 1 second.
Go for
One
it.
more thing I forgot. Sorry.
Go for it.
Be humble.
Okay.
Be humble.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter how good you are.
Yeah.
Don't be arrogant.
Yeah.
And don't be entitled.
Yeah.
Be humble and kind to others.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who they are or where they're from.
Yeah.
Be kind and humble.
Yeah, that's also something I also got from you. I'm like, I'm speaking to Gabi Le Roux, and Gabi is just so humble. So I'm also kind of taken that with me. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us and being so gracious. I hope we get to do it again in other platforms as well. But thank you for gracing our MFM community this evening, Gabi.
Come back and talk to me about AI.
I will. I definitely will into the future. That is Gabi Le Roux, the true legend of sound, right here on SiyakhulaLive on MFM 92.6. It's 10 to the hour, 7 o'clock.
This is your favorite campus and community station. MFM 92.6. Move to the music.